As you have probably noticed by now in my videos, I am rather obsessed with the concept of self-esteem, be it self-esteem, self-value, self-worth. I see those as like interchangeable because I don't really love the term self-esteem. I just think it's a little too confusing and doesn't really tell us to stuff, and it's too vague. And the concept of self-worth is, where does my worth stem from? Do I know that I have worth because I was born, period? I have worth because I was born, period. Nothing I say or do adds to my worth nor detracts from my worth. I stand equal to all. Keep that in mind. If I have worth because I was born, and you have worth because you were born for no other reason, then you and I are equal. I am not better than you. I am not less than you. So keep all of that in mind. More recently, but even when I first started learning about this lens a couple years ago, I see it show up in so many TV and movies, which is why I've done some videos on like Encanto and some of the sisters. Did a video on an episode of Ted Lasso. So I see it now places. And my hope for you is that you start seeing it in places as well. And you start to recognize it in your own life. That's really my goal. You recognize it in your own self, and that you see it, you notice it when it's there in front of you on TV and movies. So this time, and I'm going to admit, I'm really sorry, there are some spoilers in this video. I admit it. My husband and I watch All American, this show about a football player in Los Angeles, and it's on Netflix. I think it started on network TV, but it's on Netflix now. And again, this is somewhat of a spoiler. I admit that. And I can't remember which season it was. I think season 4. I'm human. I meant to go back. I noticed it right when it happened in the episode, and I literally meant to go back and rewatch it so I could tell you it's this episode, it's this season, it's this episode, and I didn't do that. So I'm human, and I can hold myself gently with my flaws and imperfections. I made a mistake. I did not go back and rewatch that because I really wanted to get this video out. And I'm starting to notice in myself that if I don't do the video right when it's on my mind and I want to, I can like put it off indefinitely. And I don't think I'm the only one. So feel free to comment if you could do the same thing. That's why I'm like, let me get this video out now. In this episode, Spencer is the main character. The whole premise of Spencer and this show is that he's the star football player who's like destined for great things. And it's based on a true story. The kid really did. I don't even think his name is really Spencer, but he did go into the NFL. In this episode, someone else, he's in high school, another kid is at risk of getting in trouble. First, I'm losing some of the details in my mind, and they're not important for what I'm about to say. So the kid is at risk of getting in big trouble, and I think getting expelled. And Spencer may get expelled. Like, which one of them did it? The punishment for whoever did it is expulsion, which means getting kicked off the football team and likely losing your future in football. School board has voted, and they're about to blame the other kid. This is why I say spoiler alert. And Spencer comes out and says, I do not have more worth than he does. Just because I may have a future in the NFL. I don't even think he spells that part out, by the way. But he's saying just because I may have a future does not make my life have more worth than his. It's a very moving, beautiful scene. My poor husband, because I'm watching it and I'm like, he's talking about self-esteem. I have worth because I was born. I am equal to all. And he's saying, I am not better than somebody else. You remember the lens, your inherent worth is in your core. And this is when you can believe I am equal to all. And I have worth because I was born. And if you don't believe this, you either believe you're better than other people or less than other people. Those are my lenses, right? And I say my poor husband because we're in the middle of the show and I make him pause it. And I like start exploding to him about like, he's talking about self-worth and inherent worth and knowing that you have inherent worth just because you were born, and your worth doesn't become greater because you're a good football player and less because you're not as good, or you don't have more worth in life because you're off to great things and less worth in life because you may not be off to those same things. I mean, what they don't get into in the show, but I'll theorize here, like, okay, sure, Spencer's about likely going to go and join the NFL, and no one knows that this kid isn't going to go into engineering or astrophysics. I don't know why that crossed my mind just then, but no one knows what his future holds. I mean, there is a belief system of, does he have more worth because he's off to great things? When no, he doesn't. And so again, that's why I say my poor husband, because I paused the TV show to like go off on my rant about, I have inherent worth because I was born. I am not better than others. I am not less than others. So as I said at the beginning, my goal for you is that you recognize in yourself when you are falling into an outside source of self-esteem, and you notice when you are falling into an I am better than other people or I am less than other people space. So, two things. The outside sources of self-esteem, if you remember the ESA lens, ESA is my last name. E is for esteem, A is for achievements, S is for society, and the final A is for attributes or assets. These are our outside sources that will always leave us unfulfilled versus our inherent worth that stems from the inside, and it is simply because you were born. That is one lens of self-esteem. The other lens is, again, the inherent worth and its equality versus I am better than other people or I am less than other people. And to get yourself out of the less than, you breathe yourself into equality. Yes, I'm enough and I matter as well. And if you're in better than, you breathe yourself down by breathing the other person up. They matter too. And that's what Spencer was doing. This kid matters too. I do not have more worth than he does. He brought the other kid up into his same worth. And it was beautiful to watch. As always, head over to yourdecisiondiva.com. That is yourdecisiondiva.com, because I'm your decision diva. I am your queen of clarity. And when you go to yourdecisiondiva.com, you will get a free brochure, a little handout that spells out this lens again and how it links to decision making. And reach out to me if you want to work on where your roadblocks are to your inherent worth. Till next time.